This is episode 26, and today I will talk about finding the sweet spot in your tone. Welcome to Freya Singing Tips, the podcast. My name is Freya Casey, professional singer and vocal coach. I have been on stage my whole life, and I'm passionate about helping you discover the awesomeness in your own voice. Opera, musical theater, jazz, pop, folk, rock, I have done it all. And I want to give you golden nuggets of advice on how to be the master of your voice. You may sometimes feel like your tone is just not open and it just doesn't sound that great. It may sound pressed or just kind of narrow or just not with any ping in it. So how do you find that sweet spot in which you have the perfect balance of resonating space, support, and ease and relaxation wherever you need it? So before we actually get into that, let me say this. Like I just said, the prerequisites to actually finding that sweet spots all the time is, first of all, have awesome support and continuous support. You want to make sure that the air that passes through your vocal cords is very controlled. Also, you want to make sure you have good vocal cord closure. If you are too breathy the whole time and you can't really adjust the breathiness level, you're going to have a hard time to really find that ping in your tone. Another thing that's very, very important is your posture, because your posture will determine your support and how the air flows out of your body. The next issue that we need to really address here is jaw tension. You need to make sure your jaw is not locked. You want to have a very relaxed jaw. And even when you're singing an like a very open vowel, you don't want to really open your jaw too wide. There's a point where it's comfortable and the rest of the resonating space takes place inside your mouth cavity, which means the tongue, the pharynx, back there in your throat, the soft palate. Those are all elements of how your resonating space is shaped. Having said that, we are now ready to experiment a little bit with finding this sweet spot. Now, it is so amazing to me what you can do with a human voice. There is virtually no other instrument in the world that I can think of with which you can change the timbre as much as you can change it with a human voice. It is totally fascinating. With a piano, you push a key and the only thing you can change about it is how loud or how soft it sounds. You can only change dynamics, but that key is always going to sound like that key, or the piano is always going to sound, it has that specific sound quality, and that is not going to change. You can change the sound quality of a few woodwind or brass instrument like the clarinet. You can do some rough tones or clear tones, or even with a flute, you can be a little bit more breathy or less breathy. But other than that, you can't really change the sound quality that much. And with a human voice, you can change so much. It's amazing what you can do. Just think of an actor. Just think about whenever you are talking every day, the difference between being mad or being very soft, talking to a small child. There's a huge difference in the voice color, in the quality of your voice, of your sound. So you may either sound like, "Oh, this is very nice," or "This is very bad. Now I'm pushing the larynx down. Now I'm sounding very flat.
No, I'm sounding even different."
And these are all just parts in my throat or in my mouth that I'm moving around.
I can move like this.
Or I can move like this.
Or like this.
Or like this. I can change all kinds of things around, and it sounds funny, but it's really fun to work with it a little bit and just to experiment. And the more you can experiment and find the buttons where you can actually operate those different areas, the more you can change your voice colors and the more interesting you can sound whenever you sing. Because it is so important, let's face it, whenever you get emotional, even in everyday life, the more your voice color changes, the more real it gets. When you're mad, you definitely have a different voice color than when you're talking sweet to your lover. It is so important. Now, the tone of your voice is going to determine what you're actually saying. The words aren't going to determine that as much as your voice color does.
I love you.
I love you. I love you. So that all has changed the meaning of what I just said. Let's try to experiment just a little bit. Let's sing on just one phrase. Let's sing row, row, row your boat. Very neutral. Try to keep your larynx in a very neutral position. Not too much breathiness, not too much chestiness. Very relaxed. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So that was very relaxed and a very, very neutral voice color. Now, let's just experiment around a little bit. Let's do it in a very dark, sinister voice color.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, 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 merrily,
Life is but a dream. I was really
just kind of very dark. Now let's think a little bit Disney, like Donald Duck or Mickey Mouse. Just kind of Donald Duck, really. He has this really funny voice. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So I was extremely narrow just now. And I find it so much easier going about it this way, as if I explained to you, okay, lift your soft palate or put it down. Now lift your pharynx, put your tongue down or up. It's so much easier just to think of a certain sound and try to imitate it. Let's apply it to actually singing one single note. And that's an exercise I have been doing with my students in the studio lately, and it has worked wonders with some of them. A lot of times when you change a vowel around just the tiniest bit, it can make the pitch where you're trying to sing, it can make it so much more singable. Just changing a little bit, it can bring so much more ping or less ping into the note. And sometimes just adjusting the vowel, the tiniest bit, will make a difference. So I'm going to back up from the mic now because I don't want it to go into overdrive. It's going to get a little louder now. Let's do kind of a mid-range chest voice tone here. And let's start on an ah, move into a very narrow and flat ah, then move back to an ah, like a neutral ah, and then go into a very dark ah. Let's do that. See how the voice color changes and how that ping changes around? It sounds totally different. And it's so good to know sometimes you have to put in so much less effort just by changing around the vowel the tiniest bit. So we just actually changed the whole vowel. But now let's practice with a resonating space. Let's do a few really crazy things. Let me demonstrate. So it sounded kind of like a voodoo-possessed woman just now, but it is so fun because you can move around so many parts in your throat. And when you learn how to play with it just a little bit, it's gonna really bring you to a different level as far as your singing goes, because in your singing, you don't want to go to those extremes for a long time, but just for a moment. Like if you're, I am so sweet, baby, and I love you, but now I am so. Just every once in a while, you can just let that creep in just a little bit, depending on what you want to convey. And it's really, really going to bring you to a different level. I find it so much more interesting when I listen to a singer that is actually putting a lot of voice colors in and really puts the emotion into that. Now, on the other hand, I can't stand listening to singers that make their voice fake the whole time. So you don't want to stay in any extreme voice color for any longer period of time. That's annoying. You don't want to sing with your larynx down. You don't want to go, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. It's very annoying. You don't want to do that. Just for effect for the short period of time. Otherwise, it's unnatural, and you want to keep your natural voice all the time. So your natural voice is where all those parts are very relaxed in a very neutral position. Like your soft palate is lifted, but not crazy, like crazy. And your larynx is not crazy, but it's very relaxed. Pay attention to when you listen to the radio or other singers, any recordings or any live concerts where you're at. Try to start paying attention to those details. What are they doing? What are they doing with their resonating space? And what are they doing with their vowels? Are they actually clean and clear? And a word of caution of whenever you alter your vowels, you can alter them a little bit, but make sure you still have the actual vowel. Don't alter it to where it sounds not like the actual vowel. For example, the higher you get, any vowel gets closer and closer to an ah sound. I mean, there's just no way you can sing an E way up on the high C or something like that. You can't go. I mean, if you stay that narrow, you're gonna choke. You gotta get open, and the higher you get, the more the E is gonna become an ah. But all the way, while I'm going up there, I am actually thinking E. I never stop thinking E. That way, it actually always sounds like an E. Make sure you stay true to the actual vowel, but also keep in mind that you do have to adjust it depending on how high or low you're singing it. Alrighty, guys, that's it for today. I hope you're gonna take that lesson to heart and try to experiment a little bit. You can send me a message. I would love to hear from you. What problems are you having? What issues would you like me to talk about? Or just give me some feedback. You can email me at podcast@freyassingingtips.com. I will put the email address in the show notes. And also you can check out my website at freyassingingtips.com. You can also download the free audio program there. I made a vocal workout checklist there, and I also made an audio program that goes with that. You can also work with me. You can click on the Work With Me tab there and find out more about that. And I'm also coming up very soon. I'm coming up with my first online course that you can take. It's gonna be all about support, because that seems to be one of the huge issues, and it's a prerequisite to any good singing. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna give you more information whenever I launch that. Until then, I'm so glad you spent the time with me, and don't forget, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. Bye.